Most people move through life with a fairly narrow view of movement. A strength athlete sees opportunities to get stronger. A climber notices walls to climb. A runner spots routes and distances. And people who don't move much at all often pass by countless opportunities for movement without ever noticing them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Every perspective opens certain doors and offers its own possibilities. But at the same time, it can limit what we see, how we train, and how we interact with the world around us. But what if we could expand that perspective? What if we could learn to approach the same environment through different movement lenses, unlocking new experiences, new challenges, and entirely different reasons to move? So in this video, we're exploring 3 distinct movement perspectives, each revealing a different side of the world around us. Because movement isn't only about building a more capable body, it's also about developing a richer relationship with the world around you. The more perspectives you learn to adopt, the more possibilities begin to appear, and the more movement becomes woven into everyday life. And by the end of this video, we'll also show you a place where you can experience exactly this process in real life, learning to explore movement through different perspectives alongside others. Stick around for this opportunity. Let's start with the longevity lens. If there is one perspective that lays the foundation for a lifelong movement practice, it's this one. The longevity lens teaches us to see movement as a way of maintaining and caring for the body. Its focus isn't on performance, expression, or overcoming obstacles. It's about keeping ourselves strong, mobile, resilient, and capable for years to come. When looking through this lens, we begin to recognize opportunities that might feel familiar to anyone with a fitness background. A simple park bench is no longer just a place to sit. It becomes a versatile training tool.
Wearing the longevity lenses, I can see the bench as an opportunity to work on my strength and mobility and increase my foundational capacities. For example, preparing myself in the squat.
A bench can be such a valuable tool because it allows many exercises to be performed with a more manageable leverage. By elevating your hands or feet, movement can become more accessible and easier to integrate into everyday life. Instead of needing a dedicated training session, a simple bench can provide a small opportunity to move, maintain strength, and care for your body without completely exhausting yourself.
Wearing this lens, I want to make sure I'm aware of the basic patterns that my body has to offer. For example, hanging from something like a branch or a tree, searching for elongation, a nice stretch, and maybe also a little bit of strength involved. And then also my basic coordinative abilities, for example, balancing on something like a rail, and just making sure my body can do everything I will maybe later need in life or different scenarios.
While other perspectives may focus on performance, exploration, or expression, the longevity lens reminds us that movement can also be an act of self-care. One that helps us stay capable, resilient, and ready for whatever life throws our way. But movement isn't only about taking care of the body. Sometimes it's about engaging with the world around us. And this is where the Parkour Vision comes into play. Through this perspective, the environment transforms into a landscape of opportunities. And unlike the longevity lens, where objects primarily serve as tools to maintain the body, the Parkour lens invites us to interact with them. It encourages curiosity, adaptability, and play. Rather than asking, how can this support my body, we start asking, what can I do with this?
Remember the time when you were a kid and you went to the playground just to have some fun, but then you ended up doing a lot of different things the playground was not made for. So that's basically what the Parkour Vision is about.
In a way, the Parkour Vision can also be seen as a quiet rebellion against modern fitness culture. Rather than relying on designated equipment and carefully controlled environments, we begin to question the idea that movement has to happen in specific places or with specific tools. We don't simply accept what is given to us to move with. We choose for ourselves a wall, a rail, a bench, a ledge. All of them become valid invitations to explore movement.
Using the Parkour Vision, a lot of objects become obstacles, or, how I think about it, they become options. Learning to move around with your environment. Similar to the longevity lens, parkour can be physically demanding. Aside from that though, one of the biggest aspects is dealing with fear and building mental resilience.
At the same time, this is also what can make it intimidating for many adults. Not everyone feels ready to jump onto rails, climb walls, or confront fear head-on from day one. And that's where another perspective can offer a beautiful entry point. The Acro Perspective asks much less of the environment and much more of our imagination. Instead of looking for obstacles to overcome, it teaches us to fill empty space with movement. Here, movement doesn't need a practical purpose. We aren't maintaining the body, and we aren't necessarily trying to get from one place to another. We're moving for the sake of movement itself. The focus shifts towards creativity, expression, and exploration, discovering what the body can create when given the freedom to play. So once you're able to see the world with the acrobatic perspective, you know that we're leaving the realms of moving out of necessity. Acrobatics is purely optional. So whenever I'm doing my moves, it's not about necessarily strengthening myself, but expressing something from within. So with the acrobatic perspective, the beautiful thing is that an ordinary space, just like this empty floor right here, can transform into a canvas that you can fill with your own movements. As a regular watcher of my YouTube videos, you know how much I love acrobatics, right? So this perspective is really something that I've been playing with for many years, and my proposition for all of you is to also dive into this perspective, leaving the realm of just moving because you have to in order to become strong, but moving for the sake of it, just moving because you truly feel it. Before we wrap up, we want to make one thing clear. These three perspectives are just three out of many. The movement world is filled with different lenses. Through exposure to new disciplines, we gain new ways of seeing and interacting with our environment. You might develop a fighter's eye for distance, timing, and positioning, a climber's instinct for holds and roots, a dancer's sensitivity to rhythm, expression, and flow. And perhaps even more interesting is what happens when these perspectives begin to overlap. You might combine the longevity lens with the Parkour Vision. Suddenly, you're not only exploring obstacles and building resilience, but also understanding how to prepare your body for those challenges in a sustainable way. Or you might pair the Acro Perspective with the longevity lens. Now your strength and mobility work becomes more creative, more versatile, and more playful. What was once a conditioning exercise can become an opportunity for exploration and expression. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. While every perspective may have its preferred environments and favorite tasks, they slowly start to coexist within the same space. A simple elevated surface can become a mobility station, a place to practice acrobatic skills, or an obstacle to interact with through parkour. The environment stays the same, but the possibilities multiply. And this process doesn't stop with the environment. We can also learn to view the very same movement through different lenses. Take the macaco, for example. From an acrobatic perspective, it might be a skill to learn and refine. Through the longevity lens, its positions can inspire strength and mobility exercises that prepare the body. And through the parkour lens, it can become a playful, dynamic movement that helps us connect ideas, adapt to our surroundings, and discover flow. So, we hope that by the end of this video you did understand that having more than just one perspective to take into your training is such an invaluable thing.
With a more flexible view on movement, you can take your practice anywhere you go.
With this being said, hopefully we convinced you to break out and to cultivate your own movement practice to maybe become something more than just movement.
So as we've already mentioned at the start of this video, we have an amazing learning opportunity for all of you out there, and that is the three of us are teaching a workshop together end of August. Just like last year, we come together for 5 days to study movement in all of its depth.
We will work on building capacity, acrobatics, parkour, working with a partner, softening, tensioning, indoor, outdoor, all of it.
No matter if you're a beginner or an intermediate practitioner, this workshop is for everybody. We want to show you some new perspectives on movement, so use this opportunity and join us here in Munich.
Of course, financially, we know that a trip like this can be quite expensive. So there is scholarship spots. We have 3 of them and you can apply now. Everything is listed in the video description or in the top pinned comment. So we hope to see you there. Happy practice. Enjoy the newly gained perspectives that you maybe now have, and see you in the next one.